Can someone please tell me who the hell is Rowley? That's all I want to know.
3, 2, 1.
Hey, it's Michelle Alexandria here with another review, a recap thingy for the 100 Season 4, Episode 5. Let me just give a big round of applause. Jay Roth, you did good. Episode 5 is the very definition of a game-changing episode. It was everything that I've been screaming about for the 100 to do for the last year and a half, and it delivered. It was exactly what I want. It opens up the door for a lot of future story potential, and finally, the show gets to move on. Everything gets to move forward. I've been complaining for the last 4 or 5 weeks that the 100 is just stuck in this quagmire where it's repeating the same mistakes and the same storylines and the same crap over and over and over again. And there is more of that in this week's episode, titled Tinder Box. But what they did was they finally jumped off of that whole roller coaster or hamster wheel tonight. So basically, what happened was the episode opens with Octavia falling off a horse and Ilion finding her. Ilion takes Octavia over to Arcadia, and where Clark immediately goes to try to save Octavia. Once that happens, she finds out that Roan and Askeda is marching on Arcadia. Monty comes up with a plan to actually trap the Askeda army while Clark tries to negotiate with King Rong. And once again, Monty is the big hero in this episode. And once again, it makes last week's episode even more nonsensical because Clark left Monty off the list. But I'm not even going to revisit the past anymore. Ever forward is my new motto for the 100. So basically, they trap the Askeladd warriors in a little valley, with guns all trained on King Roan, and Clark negotiates with King Roan. And at some point, I love the fact that King Roan told Clark that as one hater, she needs to stop only caring about her people, that she's a symbol for all the clans at this point. And she can't continue to claim that she wants to help everyone, while her fallback position is always to save her people, and that's not what Lessa did. Lessa rose above her clan to lead everyone, and it's now Clark's job to do the same thing. And I love having Roan tell Clark that, because finally Clark is actually listening. So we get a lot of moments where Clark and Roan are talking about how they both let their mothers die and all this other stuff. It was really good stuff. I really love those moments. I ship Clark and Roan now. I want to see Clark together with Roan. That would be an awesome pairing. But anyway, what happens is they come to agreement that they're going to share Arcadia, because they're going to share Arcadia, and when the time comes, it's going to be 50-50. It's going to be 50% Roan's people and 50% Arcadians, and that it's going to be Clark's job to kind of corral her people when the time comes, and Roan would do the same with his people, and his people will make sure that Clark's people don't storm the doors when the time comes. He has a lot of faith in his people that they're just going to be like, oh, radiation's coming, we're going to sacrifice ourselves for you. He has a lot of faith in that. But then that's the ground of culture a little bit. They don't fear death, so maybe that actually would happen. But it's a great moment. So they seal their truce with the blood oath, with the unbreakable bond, where they chop. But while all of this is going on, you have this damn character Rowley who wants to shoot Roan and start a war, and Rowley is making the same stupid arguments that Bellamy and Pike made last year, and I was pulling my hair out because I'm like, come on, are we back to this, really? Are we really back to the Grandlers are going to attack us and we got to attack first nonsense? And so once again, Monty notices that Rowley left. So he gives some stuff up to Echo and tells Echo that there's a rogue person out there who wants to kill the king. Echo and Bellamy goes off to save Roan, and Echo and Bellamy have a great moment together. And can I just say, I kind of love Bellamy in this episode. I mean, if I could forget what happened in the past, Bellamy was actually really great in this episode. There's a moment where Bellamy asks Echo, aren't you tired of it? Aren't you tired of the us versus them, your people, my people nonsense? Can't we just move past it? And on the one hand, I love the fact that there was an arc of finally saying that and acknowledging that. On the other hand, it was Bellamy after everything Bellamy did. But they're basically just saying everyone does stuff for war, and Bellamy, everyone just forgives Bellamy. So I'm not even going to worry about that anymore. But I did love that part. So when they catch up to this idiot Rowley character, Bellamy gives him a whole speech about, you don't want to do this, you don't want to be responsible for this, you don't want to start a war. I know, I've been there. We've all done stuff that we're ashamed of, and blah, 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 blah. And eventually Riley breaks down and drops the gun and lets Ron go. But again, I hate this character Riley. He's one of the worst characters I've ever seen on television. They just kind of dropped him in the middle of the show, and they act like this is a character that's been around for all 4 seasons and that we're supposed to care about. And I'm like, no, I don't care about this character. Why is it everyone else cares when you haven't even taken the time to explain who the hell he is, why he's on this show? I had the feeling that this Riley character is actually just a producer's son who's there because the producer demanded his son get on the show. That's the only explanation I have for this stupid character. So while all of that's going on, Raven, Abby, and Sinclair are at Becca's little bunker trying to figure out how to reverse engineer the Black Blood. Raven actually experiences some super duper brainwave activity, and he promptly has a seizure, where Abby eventually tells her that because of the way that she was disconnected from Allie with the EMP charge, her brain is now messed up, and she's going to eventually die. She's going to eventually die if she keeps using her brain at the level that she's using it. And of course, Raven says, then I have to die because I got to try to save all these people. She comes up with the plan. She figures out how to reverse engineer the Black Blood. And reverse engineer Black Blood, they actually have to do it in space. And lo and behold, there's a spaceship there's a little space pod right there in the bunker, which seemed a little too MacGuffin-like. So I guess in future episodes, they're going to try to simulate zero-G gravity in this space pod to reverse engineer the Black Blood. But the other interesting thing is that because both Abby and Raven were disconnected from Allie by using the short circuit method, the EMP, it messed up their brains. So both Abby and Raven may be dying pretty soon. I'm betting, my guess is it's going to be Abby who's going to die within the next couple of weeks, because at the end of the episode, she actually hallucinated Clark dying. So if you watch the season 4, why do I keep looking at my microphone? But when you watch the season 4 trailer, you will see that you would see the scene where Clark melts at the end of that trailer. Well, that scene happened tonight, and it's basically Abby hallucinating everything. So that's what's happening in the bunker. Meanwhile, back in Arcadia, when Octavia wakes up, Nala's there to help her and everything else, and Octavia's like, who saved me? And she's like, Enion saved her. And Octavia immediately knows that Enion actually followed her and is using her to get inside of Arcadia. And at that point, and why do I keep looking over here and say at you fine people? Because there's nothing over here but my iPad and my microphone. But anyway, so yeah, it was really good. So basically, Ilion tells Octavia that they try to stop Ilion from burning down the Ark, and they fail because Leon says, no, technology is really bad, really terrible, and I've had enough. And he sets the entire arc aflame, and the entire thing blows up. So it's great. It was awesome because it blows up right as Roan and the Astral Warriors and Clark and all those guys finally make it back to Arcadia, and they see what happened. And now Rome must be thinking, "Oh my God, these people! You just can't trust them at all." But based on next week's episode, he's not going to blame them for this next round of betrayals, quote unquote. But this time, I love the fact that they blew up Arcadia because it actually forces the Arkers to really live on the ground, to really try to build their future with the Grounders as their allies, because they can't do it alone, and they no longer have the Ark or their stupid technology to kind of hold as a club against the Grounders. Everyone's going to be more equal now, so that's going to be very interesting to watch how this all plays out. And this is all I've been asking for the last season and a half. I really wish the season was last year, and I think it's time I just let season 3 go and pretend that season 4 is season 3, because so far I'm really digging season 3. I think season 3 is really clicking and moving along. And the only thing I would say is, where's the death? This is episode 5 and still no death, no deaths at all. So that's pretty interesting. I have the feeling that the bodies are going to have to start dropping by the next episode, and I think Abby's going to be one of the first ones to go, based on everything that happened tonight. But I would give this episode a solid A. It's my first A episode in like a year and a half or a season and a half for the 100. It was really great, really strong. Again, great job, J. Roth. You won me back.